This is a little, the guys asked me to do something on glass because glass has become such an important part of the collision repair industry. And let me ask a question. Any repairers out here? Joel, pick on you. Joel, question. Guy puts in a windshield. Do you know what kind of adhesive he puts in? Does he sign a release from you? No. So you really don't know what he's putting in. And today's vehicles have to have certain types of glue to keep these windshields in. I'm going to show you some demonstrations. So look at the windshield on this. That is a 2005 Volvo XC90 that rolled over 3.5 times at 55 miles an hour. Look at the windshield, stayed intact. So that's one of the primary functions of a glass. It's for structure. We'll talk about that in a second. Now take a look at the windshield on the crash from the front view. If you notice, the windshield is all cracked because the passenger side airbag deployed off of it. Again, we need to be careful when we do a reinstall on the glass, because if we don't have the right type of adhesive to hold it in place, guess what? Passenger side airbag, instead of blowing off the windshield, blows the windshield out. Would you like to add something to that? Well, I'm telling you. I mean, look what I have to work with. I get stuck doing everything, and you gonna say something? Come on.
Toby asked me to come up because he's a very shy man. Main function of today's windshields, it's part of the vehicle structure. As you can see, when the car rolled over, that windshield that was bonded in place by the manufacturer has a lot to do with the rigidity of the roof, obviously. Putting the wrong adhesives and replacing a windshield improperly would jeopardize, obviously, the occupant and the structural rigidity of the roof. There's a part of the frontal airbag system, that impact that you saw with the Toyota, where the airbag went off. It actually keeps the occupant in the car and protects the occupant from hitting the windshield. So the adhesive that's used, is imperative that it's done properly, so that if a windshield gets replaced, that the occupant still remains safe in an accident. The restraints of passengers in the vehicle, same thing. The passenger, not the driver, has the same issues. When the airbag deploys, it uses the windshield as a backboard. And that backboard has to be obviously intact to keep the occupant safe.
Got the fourth function. Keeps the bugs off of happy people, off their teeth. We see these little numbers on the windshield. What do they stand for? Well, the AS that you'll see on all glass on a vehicle will say AS for American Standard. Front windshields will have the designation AS1. And what does that refer to? It has the least of 70% light emission. So it is the clearest of all of the glasses. It is also laminated. We also have AS2, which will be your side glass, your windshield side glass, and your rear backlight. And then AS3 is your privacy tint. That's usually the ones you can't see through. So, laminated glass. Laminated glass. It's safety glass. What is it? Laminated glass is two pieces of glass with a piece of plastic sandwiched in between. What is its function?
Keep it from breaking. Shattering.
Shattering. Keeps all the glass in place. Then we have tempered glass. Tempered glass will break into small little shards when it breaks. Can we have laminated glass and door glass? You know which cars? Why do we have laminated glass and door glass, do you think? Take a guess. You're right, it's for theft recovery. And you were right too, because you know what it also does? It keeps the glass from going inside on a side impact. How would you tell the difference between a laminated glass on a door and a tempered glass? Oh, you figured it out. You'd roll it down, you'll see a little line in the middle. Very good, Bruce. So if you wanted to find out if it had tempered glass or if it was laminated, you'd roll down the glass and you'd see a little bit of line if it was on a laminated. So there's a piece of laminated glass up here. So again, the laminated glass will have a piece of plastic. It'll usually be a little bit thicker. Volvo's been using a lot of it on their glass. I came across a Dodge Ram 1500 that had it. So, Chevy Malibu, thank you. So we'll probably see more and more of it, especially for side impacts, keeping that glass from shattering all over the place. You're gonna probably start seeing more laminated glass. Ooh, how many know those were called a bug? Raise your hand. That little thing that tells you what type of glass it is down in the corners, all the windshields, and it's called a bug. And you can see what type of glass. And the one over on the left says AS1, and the one on the right says AS2. I couldn't find an AS3. So those are no bugs. That's what they identify. It'll also tell you the manufacturer, if it's an OE or if it's an aftermarket. So, that windshield coming out of that Volvo, what prompted the manufacturer to do it? Well, the manufacturers, OE, have to go with Federal Motor Vehicle Safety Standards 208, 212, 216, and 219. Here's the problem, is that there is no standards for the aftermarket installation of glass. Most of your higher end quality manufacturers of adhesives for the windshield installation follow those same rules. Doesn't mean they do. There's some people out there that are using some other stuff out there, but this is what we are basing our standards on for the windshield to stay in the car on rollover. If you're not familiar with them, this comes off of the government website, and here they are. I won't go through them, but they're the standards that the OEs have to abide by for their windshields today. This little black strip around is called a frit. A frit is designed for two purposes. First, it keeps the ultraviolet rays from the sun attacking the adhesives and causing it to degrade and then not work properly. The other is to cover the interior trim. If this gets damaged, can you fix it? What are you going to use? Well, they make a little black ink that you can put over a frit to color it in so the light stays out. So again, we talked a little about what the adhesives are for and what they're going to do. You're going to see some terms up here we call high modulus adhesive. This actually is designed for rigidity on the structure when the glass is put in place. Well, here's something that comes up, primers. Yeah, again, when you are doing window installations, we have special primers that we're going to put on the glass itself. So there becomes a area where the bonding surface is for the adhesive. One of the things that's really important is that cure time. You know, how many times you see driving down the street a windshield with blue tape on it? Raise your hand. You know, I will tell you, any repairs out there, if you want to send a car out with that, and it's not fully cured, you're playing with somebody's life. So I would never send a car out the same day that I put glass in. It should be something that you schedule it in, at least have 24 hours. I would prefer 48. But don't send a car out with blue glass on a Friday afternoon at 4 o'clock that you just put in at 3. Pinch welds. Very important. Some manufacturers, the pinch hole, that little strip there that's black there, some manufacturers tell you that you can use OE paint over that, or some manufacturers says we want epoxy primer. The most important part is the body filler. No body filler on a pinch hole for glass. What it will do is weaken the weld where the adhesive will not stick to it, and that glass will come right out. You're going to see a couple other things here. We have what is known as adhesive failure and cohesive failure. Adhesive failure is when the adhesive does not stick to the substrate. So it's a pour glue and it just pops right off. Coadhesive failure is when the glue itself degrades and comes apart. Part of it stays with the glass and part of it will stay on the pitch weld that that's not what it was designed for. So these would be something you want to take a look at if you had a vehicle come back with a windshield popping out. Why did it come back? You'd want to see if it could be a manufacturing, it could be a install problem, or it could be that you put some, your technician might put some bond on it. This is a real important thing. This we teach in the I-CAR GLA02 class. This is a release form. Personally, I think it should be on every car we put glass in. Today's windshields aren't just for glass anymore. They're going to have defrosters in them. They're going to have antennas. They're going to have all kinds of grid lines in them. Can we fix them? Yeah. They have small kits that you can repair the grid lines. But the more important thing is about adhesives and non-conductivity. I'll give this back to my co-partner over here. He wants to talk about it, right?
A lot of new vehicles today, especially aluminum vehicles from Europe, have a lot of electronics. Your satellite, GPS, phone, all these things create a signal. And if you don't use the right adhesive, a non-conductive adhesive, these signals can actually destroy that bond. So it's imperative, like, there's a lot of shop owners that have windshield companies come out, they come out in a truck, they use a generic adhesive, it's all about speed, cost of the glass, and they're out of there. The liability you might have is huge. That's why the OEMs have strict recommendations on the type of adhesives, the proper adhesive mounting or adhesive guns. It's just not a generic product anymore. A lot of the problems that we have with conductive adhesives is that for some reason everybody thinks that it's a glue and it should work for all kinds of glass. And so that's something we've got to be really careful of with the new vehicles today.
Does everybody know what galvanic corrosion is? What is it? I don't know. Whoa, wait a minute. You have to that big out there.
It's cross-contamination from the steel. That's why you have to have a separate area.
Very good. So what's going to corrode first, the aluminum or the steel? Aluminum, very good. Now think about this. What are those grids made out of? You have steel, and you put a adhesive that allows electricity to pass through, will cause a galvanic corrosion right there, and the aluminum will start to corrode, as the gentleman pointed out, and underneath there, and it'll just weaken that whole weld. That's another reason why we want to use a non-conductive urethane in those areas. Again, we can fix the backlights, we can fix the antennas. They have a kit that you can get at most of your repair stores, and you just paint it on. Rain sensors, again, you're starting to see more and more of these put in. You're going to have to take those back off and put it back on. One of the things is that you take them, once you take them off and put it back on, you're going to have to run a scan tool on them to make sure they're working properly. Encapsulated glass. This is the process where we add a piece of rubber to the glass. It's bonded to the glass. And normally when an installer will go to take it out, they'll cut that because they use a knife cut those pieces out. So usually if you're R9, you have glass that is encapsulated, you're going to put down for some sort of replacement. So just, again, do that up front when you're writing your sheets. Oh, here we have some various tools to look at for windshield removal and installation. And I have another one here. This is called the Rollout 2000. It's a little bit different, unique system, and I thought it was so unique because a lot of your OE, especially the Europeans, require that you have this in your shop because they want you to do your own glasswork. So I thought it would be sort of a nice informational piece to see what it looks like.
How long does it take for one person alone to remove a glass from any car? Not long, 8 to 10 minutes in average. That's right, if the tool of choice is Rollout 2000. Rollout 2000 works in a simple, safe, and environmentally friendly manner. No batteries, no fuel, still effective. With only one person needed for a removal, you'll save both capacity and time. Rollout 2000 is user-friendly, ergonomical for the body, and since no heating process is needed, the air inside your workshop will always be fresh. The tool is good for the environment. It works with manpower only. It's designed to be careful. You'll be able to reuse the glasses you remove. The carpet will still be unscratched when you're done, and there is no need for repair tools. Rollout 2000 is a complete set of tools for all types of car glasses. Well tested, already in use in many workshops. And it all fits in this small case. Rollout 2000. One tool, all cars.
We found that this tool was very unique. A lot of the certification programs that we participate in specify that the glass be removed with this particular tool. As you can see, it does a lot of things that goes against what the normal body shop industry has done for years. Cut it out by hand, all kinds of different types of knives and things like that. This thing not only takes the windshield out safely, but doesn't damage the dash. It saves the rubber around the outside perimeter of the windshield. And it's just another tool that's available to you just to do a better job. Thank you.